On behalf of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Hakim Bajabiamila, honorable members of the House of Representatives of the 9th Assembly, as well as members of the Committee on Navy, I wish to welcome the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral A.Z. Gambo, and his entourage to this year 2020-2021 Budget's Performance Report, as well as presentation of 2022 proposed budget. This is coming at a heel where current budget process for 2022 is most crucial toward addressing the difficult terms that the wind of heightened security expectation of Nigerians is blowing rapidly across the country. This moment, no doubt, provides us the opportunity for stock taking and examining the future financial projections of the Navy to reverse the sad tale of insecurity within their mandate to the Nigerian people. This is also a chance for us as honorable members and the Navy together to collectively ascertain what we need to do in order to strengthen the Navy to carry out its functions without any encumbrances. Recall that this honorable committee, in exercise of its oversight powers, as contained in Section 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, had between 19th and 29th of October undertaken an oversight visit to headquarters, bases and formations of all the 4 commands of the Nigerian Navy in order to acquaint itself with the achievements of Navy, challenges, and future projections of the Nigerian Navy within the period under review. There were briefed during these interactions with the Navy and the key maritime players in all the 4 naval commands across the country. The focus was on obtaining performances level and indicators for future projections of the general activities of the Navy within the year under review. Owing to what we are seeing on ground, and within the insufficient appropriation made to the Navy in the year 2021, this Honorable House did observe that there were generally commendable performance of the Navy in the last 1 year. The Chief of the Naval Staff visits the Navy headquarters, interventionist projects, and projects approved in the last budget, and their level of implementation by the Navy were fair indications of good performance by the leadership of the Navy. In honesty, the committee observed that the air of relief in times of administrative prowess and strategic vision, as well as the open door policy brought to bear in the Navy by the Chief of the Naval Staff, have engendered effectiveness of officers and ratings in the discharge of their duties. There is now a cross-ventilation of ideas and motivation provided by the Naval Chief to drive the Navy to enviable height in times of performance. Navy presence at sea has increased security in the waterways. Professionalism is now brought to play, while this committee is reflecting on the way that resources are being utilized to drive the Navy onward together with other sister agencies in Nigeria and across the neighboring countries. This must be commendable. However, the committee observed with pessimistic views the split of projects against agreed time by some contractors, including some that span beyond 3 years period without the sign of completion, handover to the Navy, or concrete work in progress. Henceforth, the House of Representatives and the National Assembly will not hesitate to call to order any MDAs, and in this case, the Nigerian Navy, where it failed to checkmate the erring contractors whose stock in trade is to waste taxpayers' money by taking for granted the delivery of public goods and services within specified time frame and quality jobs. Therefore, this session of budget defense must be seen as a means to an end. It should be seen as an opportunity for the Navy to lay before this committee its succinct major performance for 2020 and 2021, to lay its array of planned projections for 2022, where necessary, and in line with what the committee saw on ground during its oversight function. It will certainly recommend for increased budgetary allocation to the Nigerian Navy. This is against the backdrop of the noted problems of the Navy, which are enormous, and there is need for open and legal recommendations for those and more windows towards granting more legal powers to the Nigerian Navy by way of providing sufficient legal frameworks by the National Assembly. May I, without waste of your time, conclude this remark by commending our leaders, the Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Hakim Bajabiamila, other principal officers, and the entire honorable members of the House for their special attention and love concern for security issues, because security issues have been one of the hallmark of the 9th legislative agenda. This as evidently seen in various security-related bills undertaken by the House of Representatives, which was passed. I'm sure the Navy are beneficiary of the 2 bills already passed, which are security-related. May I use this opportunity, without any much waste of time, invite our brother and our friend, the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral A.Z. Gambo, to present the performances of the 2020-2021 budget, as well as 2022 budget proposal of the Nigerian Navy. While I invite you to make your presentation, I welcome you all to this event, and may we have a successful budget defense.
By way of introduction, the Nigerian Navy is statutorily charged with the responsibility of defending the country's territorial integrity by sea, safeguarding her maritime resources, as well as maintenance of law and order at sea. The Nigerian Navy is in the last 2 decades, has been mainly preoccupied with her policy roles, especially countering the threats of crude oil theft, illegal bunkering, pipeline vandalization, and piracy, including internal security breaches, and asymmetric threats in the form of insurgency and terrorism, amongst others. To effectively tackle these threats in the nation's interest, the Nigerian Navy needs to budget for the acquisition of appropriate platforms, equipment, and infrastructure without ignoring personal welfare. Although the federal government of Nigeria has in recent times boosted the renewal of Nigerian Navy's fleet with some major platforms, however, more platforms are required to enhance the Nigerian Navy presence at sea in defense of Nigeria's maritime interests and sustain ongoing efforts against crude oil theft and other maritime-related crimes. Relatedly, the Nigerian Navy has also expanded its sphere of influence in response to rising internal security challenges by establishing new bases across the country, as well as entering into bilateral and multilateral relations with countries in the West African sub-region. Specifically, regional maritime security initiatives like the deployment of the Nigerian Navy personnel to the Multinational Maritime Operations Coordination Center in Benin Republic is being sustained. Similarly, the Regional Center for Maritime Security for West Africa, CRESMO for short, which was agreed under the Yaoundé Architecture for Maritime Security and Safety, is about to be fully activated, with a senior officer from the Nigerian Navy appointed to head the center, while the service also retains other appointments. Additionally, plans are at an advanced stage to operationalize the Nigeria Equatorial Guinea Combined Maritime Policing and Security Patrol Committee for the security of the joint borders of the two countries. Other international commitments include the deployment of personnel to the African Union headquarters, Addis Ababa, as well as various staff officers to 9 peace support missions under the auspices of the United Nations, ECOWAS, and African Union. Operational engagements on the domestic scene include various joint operations with the sister services, such as Joint Task Force Northeast, Operation Hadinkai, Joint Task Force Southwest, Operation Awate, Joint Task Force South-South, Operation Delta Safe, and Joint Task Force Northwest, Operation Hadirindaji. Others are Joint Task Force North Central, Operation Wild Stroke and Safe Haven, Operation Calm Water, and Operations Tripartite Joint Border Patrol, as well as Operation Safe Corridor. Similarly, the Nigerian Navy has sustained vital single service operations such as Operation Tsareteku, Operation River Sweep, as well as the choke point control regime. The purpose of this brief, therefore, is to acquaint this honorable committee with the performance of the Nigerian Navy's 2021 appropriation and espouse the focus of the year 2022 budget proposal. However, may I crave your indulgence to seize this opportunity to also briefly acquaint you with an overview of Nigerian Navy maritime security operations, architecture and engagements, achievements in year 2021, as well as critical challenges. Thereafter, my brief will highlight the implementation status of year 2021 capital, overhead and personnel cost budgets, and year 2021 supplementary appropriation before going into the 2022 budget proposal, starting with overview of the Nigerian Navy maritime security operations, architecture and engagements. The Nigerian Navy is constitutionally charged with the security of the nation's territorial integrity by sea, an area which spans about 84,000 nautical miles square. In the protection of this vast expanse of sea area, the Nigerian Navy's maritime security operations, architecture, and operational engagement is patterned along the trinity of action concept of maritime security. This encompasses surveillance, response capacity, and law enforcement. Furthermore, considering the transnational and migratory nature of maritime crimes, the Nigerian Navy also collaborates with regional navies to boost maritime law enforcement across national maritime boundaries. Now to Nigerian Navy achievements from July 2015 to October 2021. Arising from the operations conducted vis-a-vis funds allocated, the Nigerian Navy has recorded several achievements from July 2015 to date in the performance of her statutory roles. The major achievements are in contributions to national economic development, improved maritime security, and maritime law enforcement, among others. These achievements are highlighted in tables 1 and 2 below.
Go to the challenges, please.
Okay. I now go to challenges bedeviling the Nigerian Navy's operational effectiveness. The immediate challenges to Nigerian Navy operational efficiency include inadequate platforms, inadequate jetties, inadequate arms and ammunition, and obsolete logistic support facilities. Others are huge material and personnel costs for maintaining seized and arrested vessels and barges, and shortage of barracks accommodation, amongst others. Some of the key challenges are briefly highlighted in the brief before you. Now to year 2021 capital budget implementation. Capital budget of 25.3 billion naira was appropriated for year 2021 and has so far been fully released. The release has been used to fund implementation of critical projects such as the milestone obligations for the ongoing construction of the landing ship tank, LST, 17-meter Aresa inshore patrol crafts, the new 35-meter hydrography survey boat, as well as the maritime patrol helicopters. Other projects are the ongoing construction of the Naval War College and upgrade of the Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital Ojo, as well as arms and ammunition procurement. Summary of the Nigerian Navy 2021 capital budget performance is at Annex A. Next is year 2021 overhead cost implementation. Overhead expenditure of 11.2 billion naira was appropriated for year 2021, out of which the sum of 8.4 billion, that is 75%, has so far been released. The released funds have been used to meet the running costs of ships, units, commands, and establishment, as well as requirement for first-line maintenance amongst sundry and routine expenditure. Details of the line-by-line expenditure on the overhead budget for 2021 are at Annex B. Distinguished honorable members, now to year 2022 capital budget proposal. The Nigerian Navy's priority project as outlined in the Nigerian Navy Strategic Plan 2021 to 2030 are fleet renewal, concept and organization, capital development, fleet support infrastructure, operations, logistics, as well as personnel welfare. Thus, for year 2022, the Nigerian Navy's initial capital expenditure budgetary estimates amounted to 220 billion, 236 million, 832,129.46 naira. However, the Nigerian Navy was obliged to review the estimate down to the sum of 25.8 billion, equivalent to about 11% of the Nigerian Navy's needs, which was given by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning as the Nigerian Navy's budget ceiling. Details of the Nigerian Navy priority capital projects based on the budget ceiling are contained at Annex G and hereby summarized as follows. Maybe I just mentioned the figures, sir.
Yes, yes.
Under fleet renewal, the Navy was approved 8,592,413,452.42 naira. While under concept and organization, which is the optimal efficiency and effectiveness of the Nigerian Navy, and which requires the service to continually adapt and respond to current and emerging maritime security and defense threats, the Navy was allocated the sum of 4.3 billion. Now, next is capacity development. The appropriation for the Nigerian Navy given was 2.8 billion naira. Next is fleet support infrastructure. The sum of 2.255 billion was allocated. Now to operations logistics. The sum of 500 million was allocated. And finally, under personnel welfare, the sum of 7.2 billion was appropriated. This takes me to year 2022 overhead cost budget. The Nigerian Navy initial overhead budget proposal for year 2022 was 45.6 billion. This projection could, however, not be submitted as the Nigerian Navy was pegged to 14.2 billion budget ceiling given by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. It is worth mentioning that the overhead expenditure budget provision is inadequate in the face of rising costs and the Nigerian Navy's increasing operational deployment. This is more so considering the fact that the service has taken delivery of several new platforms into her fleet. This implies additional costs for petroleum, oil and lubricants, maintenance and other operational logistics costs to sustain continuous patrol at sea and the backwaters. A comparison of the Nigerian Navy's 2022 initial budget estimates vis-a-vis the proposal based on the Budget Office of the Federation's ceiling is as enumerated at Annex H. Next is year 2022 personnel cost proposal. The Nigerian Navy year 2022 personnel cost proposal amounts to 108 billion, 165 million, and 92 million, 586 naira. This amount is required for the payment of salaries and particularly the allowances contained in the Manual of Financial Administration for the Armed Forces of Nigeria, MAFA 2017. Part of the amount proposed will also cater for the National Health Insurance Scheme. Details of the Nigerian Navy's 2022 personnel cost proposal are at Annex I. Year 2022 internally generated revenue projection. The Nigerian Navy's internally generated revenue projection for year 2022 amounts to 232,934,011.40 naira. The revenue is expected to be sourced from auction of unserviceable equipment, contractors' registration and taxes, that is, withholding tax, VAT, and stamp duty. Details are at Annex J. In conclusion, the Nigerian Navy overhead, personnel costs, as well as capital budgets have been funded to the tune of 75, 83, and 100% respectively. Despite the funding challenges, the Nigerian Navy recorded substantial achievements in its operations. Furthermore, in compliance with the Federal Government of Nigeria directives for zero-based budgeting, the Nigerian Navy derived 6 priority projects, the execution of which capital expenditure budget of 25.8 billion and overhead expenditure budget of 14.2 billion were projected, while personnel cost budget proposal amounts to 108 billion. The major focus of the 2022 budget remains the ongoing fleet renewal, concept and organization, fleet support infrastructure, operations, logistics, and capacity upgrade, while efforts to improve the welfare of personnel will also be sustained. It is therefore hoped that this honorable committee will continue to support the quest to reposition the Nigerian Navy for a more effective discharge of its constitutional responsibilities. Thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Assembly for 2022 budgets. There is a unique way the committee operates. It is based on an informed position, and that is why we insisted to visit all naval formations across Nigeria, so that when you are talking to us, we will be in the know of what you are saying. At the risk of political misrepresentation, the committee knows what you are talking about, because we have gone around the country to see the challenges and to equally see the level of implementation of those projects. You have done well. We will not be scared to say, any agency that have done well will not be scared to say it, even if you are going outside there to give a different picture of what we are saying. I think it is always sincere to motivate and encourage people that are doing well. And that's why in my speech I make it categorically very clear. It is the resolve of this committee to accept what you have proposed and to equally make a case for you to ensure sufficient funding for the Nigerian Navy. And therefore, without any much waste of time, I adopt the positions of the committee and your presentation in this regard. Let me equally call on the Deputy Chairman